One.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the globe. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host tonight. It's a great honor for me to have my best friend, Barry Lebow, a legend in real estate, who celebrated today is 45 years of FRI with the Real Institute of Canada today. Congratulations, Barry. Welcome to our Realty Coffee Talk show.
That's always a pleasure. Such an honor to be asked back. I mean, so many people you get asked once to come on, they go, oh, geez, we're not going to ask him to come back. And here I am, the second time. I love it.
Amazing. Well, welcome you. We have a very interesting subject tonight, and is how to win a real estate bidding war. As you can see, this last two quarters, we have a COVID situation. Majority of the property below $1 million have a multiple offers. Okay, so we need to talk about this multiple offers. What is the process? How things happen? So the topic is, first of all, let's define this. What is a bidding war in real estate? What is we define it? Because you are a legend, you're a teacher, you're an instructor, you're a mentor for realtors, everything. So let us define what is a bidding war in real estate.
It's an auction. It's a simple auction, except the bids are not known. It's a blind auction because you don't know what. If you and I go to Sotheby's to buy a piece of art, I know you bid 10,000, but in real estate, we don't know what the bids are. It's blind. So you're guessing. And a lot of times, and I understand this, not all multiple offers or bidding wars should be won, because some of the winners have grossly overpaid.
Correctly.
Grossly. Because if they don't know what the last bid is, they could be pushed, or in their own mind pushed, and they could be paying where they should have only paid maybe $10,000 over and won. They paid $100,000 over. It's not a great process. It is for the sellers.
Yeah, and also, when you are doing a multiple offers, in this case, a seller is chosen a specific time to submit an offer, and there is a form URIA is created for everybody to have instruction in writing, so nobody can complain about it later on. That's right. Correct. And secondly, when sometime the listing agent who is representing the seller may also have a buyer, and then you are doing a multiple representation.
Oh yeah.
And that situation. So can you say something about that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with the agent representing both sides. There isn't. But there is something wrong with what's happened in our industry. You're a highly educated man, and I'm going to ask you a question to answer the question, such as my Jewish nature. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a course on teaching you as a realtor how to handle a multiple representation at all?
Yeah, we have learned that is all ethical and professional.
But have you learned the process through our education programs, through the RICO, the association?
Of course, we have learned the process.
The process, but we haven't learned how to balance and to be that neutral person in between. You have to be like a mediator. You have what they call a fiduciary relationship.
That's right.
And a fiduciary relationship means, in simplest form, your needs as the consumer are greater than my needs as your agent.
Absolutely.
Therefore, we have to represent both sides fairly. We can't talk out of turn. You've got to walk a tightrope of what you say and how you act. It's not an easy balancing act, and you have to be trained to do it.
And sometimes, if you have a multiple representation, the broker of record becomes a barrier in the middle, because if you have a buyer and seller are representing within the brokerage, the broker record says you are be in the middle. Make sure everything is done properly, so you can disclose your personal information, or buyer put an offer, but he's going to give you more money, or seller going to list this much and they're going to ask you, they might accept a lower price. We can't disclose. This is prohibited you can't disclose nothing.
Or the motivation, or the motivation.
Or the motivation, right?
I can't tell the buyer, if I'm representing both sides, that the sellers are divorcing or that they got a job offer and he has to be in Calgary in 2 weeks and they got to sell the house right away. I can't tell them that.
Yeah, this is why it's very, very important for our viewers to understand that there are protocols, there are safeguards, and regulatory requirement where we have to protect the interest of Real Estate Council of Ontario or the government of Ministry of Government and Consumer Affairs is to protect the interest of the consumer, and that's why regulation was implemented, REBA and now TRESA, to safeguard that. And our industry is regulated, and these are the things that we need to know them, teach them to know that they are dealing with the professionals who are obligated under law to protect consumer interests. So we've watched that. So that's great. So we know that for our viewers that we have a safeguards and we can't disclose the content
when they're adhered to by professionals.
Yeah.
Not everybody is. We know that.
Correct. And the only thing they know is number one is the number of offers has been received.
Yeah.
At the date they have presented. Number two, if a listing broker has agreed to discount the commission because representation of buyer and seller, they need to disclose that to the cooperating broker. So make sure they are able to prepare the offer accordingly, because by having to pay money, seller is looking at the bottom line, correct? Yeah. And if he or she can save some money, and if this information is not passed on to the cooperating broker, they will be at disadvantage for the buyer.
Well, you can also go the other way. How many times in a multiple offer situation, one of the agents says, I'm buying this, we're doing this, it's my brother, it's my sister, and I'm not taking any commission on this side.
Yes.
And we get that just as well. And again, we have to disclose that to everyone. Exactly. So my argument is, don't discount. Everybody pays the same commission across. You want to give it back, that's up to you.
Yeah. And also, I just want to add to this is the value of the property has nothing to do with the commission. Value of the property is when you buy the property and is appraised by institution or the lender to give you advance your money for the mortgage. Commission doesn't play a role in there. So make sure that
you just hit a nerve. You just hit a very big nerve. You could buy a property by bidding high, and then it doesn't appraise.
Yes.
That's not uncommon. That is very common. And what we see is the people have stupidly, because they're in a multiple, they've got no conditions. They've gone in with an offer that's completely what we call clean. There's no conditions on financing, no home inspection. And then they think they're getting your financing. And then the appraiser comes in and goes, no, you're $80,000 light. Now these people are scrambling because they don't have any more cash. They put all the money in.
Okay, we're going to talk about that subject next our topic. So let's look at this. Why the seller? What is the seller's marketing strategy if people think that they're listing a lower property value to generate commission, competition? Is that the marketing strategy, or the market permits in the neighborhood that property is listed? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I don't think most sellers ask. I think it's a real estate agent's proposition to the people that this is a way to market your house. Let's take a supposition. We're talking in the GTA here, so let's talk with a rounded $1 million. So I put the house out at $875,000, $900,000, knowing that it's low and we're expecting bids. But the problem could be the house may not be quite as good as the agent thinks it is. It doesn't show as well. The market hiccups for a few minutes. Maybe there's not as, something happened in the economy or whatever. And the other danger is that you don't get any offers on the offer date.
Yeah.
They just don't happen for two reasons. One, maybe the house isn't that appealing, or you also understand, and I'm throwing this back at you as a real estate agent that works with buyers and sellers. I have buyers who have told me, Barry, I'm not in an auction. I'll look at it. If it doesn't go through, I'll look at putting an offer in. I am not going to bid and be in a bidding war. I'm not doing it because they've been burned in a bidding war. They've already been in a few and it didn't work for them. So it's not for everybody. So the strategy starts with the realtor that comes in. Now, the dangers, of course, are that you don't get any offers. The other danger is the public doesn't know. If it's a first-time buyer, they don't know value. So they see 900,000. They don't even perceive it to be $1 million house because they don't know. You're asking 9. That's what it's worth. I'll give you 9.
Yeah, this is why it's very important for even for real estate professional to calculate the estimated value, create a CMA to make sure that you are asking a reasonable market value of the property, then likelihood of getting a mortgage approval once the deal is conditional and served, you are able to get the financing for the property.
Or you have to do evaluate. By the way, just for me, jargon, CMA is competitive or comparable market analysis. For the public, it's a valuation by the realtor.
Exactly, because lots of time I know that when we are listing the property, we are doing it, okay?
Yeah.
But I am suggesting to my fellow realtors and viewers as well to do the CMA when you're buying the property, because when you're buying the property, how do you know this is the right price for you or not?
And you have to set. Here's something else. It's part of this discussion. You set a limit. I won't go past. I just did one the other day. I put an offer in for a client and we set a limit. We'll only go to a certain, and it was generous. He still didn't get it. But yeah, we came in second best, which means we're number 1 loser.
but Barry, as you know, the price is not the only criteria when you're negotiating a deal. There are other conditions. You have an inspection, you have a financing, you have an environmental issue, you have a septic tank, you have a water
water well,
and
you've got the conservation authority and a lot of properties with that because you've got to, you don't know if floodplains, I mean, all around the GTA, there's properties on floodplains.
Yeah, so there are a lot of elements in there. So question, we're going to talk about how we can create an offer later on subject. Idea is what are the steps that we have to take to avoid this type of a bidding war, and then we're going to see what we can do to win the war. Okay, so basically this is a preparation, is that when you are entering into the area, obviously you have seen the property, you might have done the inspection, you might have arranged the pre-financing, so you're ready to go war, and you have already created your budget and you're ready to go at that situation. Those are the things that you can do under this coronavirus environment. And as you can see, we have created some clauses for make sure you give us a piece of paper to show that your mortgage was denied because you're trying to take advantage of situation and say,
yeah, you're in a legal. And it's also the same thing with damage to the house. Like a lot of agents now are putting in clauses that if there's a home inspection and it's less than the cost to cure all that is less than $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, then the deal's still a deal. Because you're buying a used house. You can't expect to be perfect.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you can't expect a new house to be perfect.
So we're going to move to the next topic, is that what is the process of entertaining the multiple offers? So when we have multiple offers, how can you describe to our viewers what is the process when there is a set time date is set up? What is the process to go through the multiple offers?
I'll give you the sequence. The first multiple offer I ever had, I think I've been in real estate, this is my 53rd year. My first multiple offer was in year 1. And I never seen one. I didn't know what to do. And what you do is the offers, first of all, there's a sequence. As the offers come in that day, you have to log the times, because the first offer that comes in is the first offer that's presented, then the second, then the third. You don't just take them together and throw them. I go further. I've been doing it a long time. We have a forms now that we never had before, but I had it started something 40 plus years ago. I create a spreadsheet, and on the spreadsheet is offer 1, offer 2, who's the agent, what brokerage. I have the agent's phone number there, so it's for me, it's instant. The price, the closing, and any conditions. It's all spread out. And sometimes I have no time. I'm not at my computer. I will stop at a Tim Hortons and take a piece of paper out and do this. Because when I'm sitting with the seller, it's more systematic to see all the offers. And if there's only 2 or 3 offers, it's easy. Go through the offers. But when you have 12, 20, I mean, I've heard of agents getting 35 and 40 offers. And I'm like, how can you handle that? That's why I stay at spreadsheets.
I call them summary of bids. And I because I was involved with dealing with the construction contract management. So from the pre-award to post-award, when bid comes in, you record the information, pricing, and all the details, and you already have a summary. So instead of carrying the boxes of paper, you have complete summary. As you know, we are using a Form 801 for individual offers, which you can counter, accept, or reject the offer.
Which you don't need when there's not a multiple offer. You don't need that form.
Yeah,
they just don't understand that.
Yeah. So, the idea again is to, first of all, to entertain the offers in an orderly fashion.
Orderly
fashion.
And not with any favor, including your own. If your offer is the 4th offer that's registered, you're number 4. It's your own offer as a listing agent.
And when you presented it, you discuss with them, you record them, because that becomes part of the RICO. Viewers, you must understand that if you feel that someone has not done or treated your offer properly, or a number of offers that you were told that you're competing with, because of that, you might raise the price of your offer to win the property, you can write to Real Estate Council of Ontario. I can give you a website, reco.on.ca, and tell them to please check to make sure my agent told me there are 4 offers, to make sure there are 4 offers for that property that you didn't get it. Because 100%. That's all they're going to confirm to you. Yes, there were 4 offers, they were received, and we have seen. They will review all the file. They will ask the listing broker to send all the record to Real Estate Council of Ontario. They will check it. They will say, yes, there were 4 offers. If there are not 4 offers, you will be notified there were 3 offers, and there could be some, accountability there.
What happens, though, is just so the viewers understand, most of us today are in electronic systems in our office. So when an offer comes in, I mean, I'm not picking up the phone and calling each agent and go, oh, we got 1 offer, 2 offers, 3 offers. It's an automatic. I phone my office and it goes out electronic blast to every agent who's seen the property, shown it. So it happens sometimes there's 4 offers, and at the last minute, let's say you're presenting at 7 o'clock. It always seems to be 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Somebody at the last minute pulls and says, no, we decided not to go in. And then it happens. Then it's late, so you present through, the 3 offers and not the 4. It happens. Technically, we should do another blast and say it's now 3 offers. But some offices were closed, and with COVID, we're not open on nights like we used to.
Something that I very said, we adopted a practice in our brokerages that if we have received all the offers at the time specified, we will pick up the call or text everybody directly, because we want them to know there are 3 or 4, whatever the offers are.
Always.
And always they have a direct communication. Texting is very good. And basically, everybody's ethical, professional. They follow the law, and they want to make sure that the information is provided to all people who are involved with this. So at this moment, we're going to continue our conversation. We have a short break coming. You are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment.
Where's the coffee?
Coffee is the way we started this program.
I don't drink coffee, but where's the coffee?
Yeah, coffee is the program, actually, because this program started several years ago when we started this program in community centers, and we used to offer Tim Horton coffee and donuts. And fortunately for everybody, and because of this coronavirus, we went to television. So we'll be taking a break now. You are watching Awaz Entertainment with my guest, Barry Lebow, our legend real estate, and
Welcome to City Pro Realty. We are 100% Canadian family-owned real estate brokerage. If you are thinking of buying or selling residential or commercial real estate, Think of us. Call us. We are one-stop solution provider for your real estate needs. Our passion is real estate. Your success is our priority. Our commission plans to meet your budget. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. A family serving family. To search for sale properties and free reports, visit www.citypro.net.
Fine Foods, now open in Barhaven area, Ottawa. Pick up or dine in. Also available on Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and DoorDash.
$2020 का लाजवाब ऑफर, जहां हम 0% फाइनेंसिंग पर आपकी मनपसंद कार दे रहे हैं, फ्री विंटर टायर्स और साथ ही हम मुफ्त ऑयल चेंज भी दे रहे हैं, वो भी उम्र भर के लिए। अभी आएं और इस लाजवाब ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। जल्दी करें, आपका खुशामदीद हमारे आउटलेट में, जो कि 60 क्वींस प्लेट ड्राइव एट इंटरसेक्शन क्लोज टू हाईवे 27 एंड रेक्सडेल अपोजिट टू वुडबाइन रेस ट्रैक। जल्द से जल्द इस ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। आज ही कॉल करें सुनील अग्रवाल को 647-703-0218। डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, एलजी, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं, जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
चार बजे देखिए आपका किचन विद शहबाज गोरी। सुबह 5 बजे देखिए सितारे और हम। 5:30 बजे देखिए मैसेज ऑफ मर्सी। शाम 6 बजे देखिए दीन और दुनिया। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम मजहर अयूब के साथ देखिए हर मंगल शाम 6 बजे और हर जुमा शाम 5 बजे। थिंक अबाउट इट सलमान कुरैशी के साथ हर मंगल शाम 7 बजे। रियल्टी कॉफी टॉक ताहिर कुरैशी के साथ देखिए हर जुमेरात 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक रिजवान असलम के साथ हर जुमे को 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ रोज रात 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
डिक्सी और एग्लिंटन के इंटरसेक्शन पे तशरीफ लाइए ज़ौक़ रेस्टोरेंट। जायकेदार लजीज खानों का मरकज, पाकिस्तानी, इंडियन और हक्का चाइनीज। आप हमसे लाइव बारबेक्यू और कैटरिंग के लिए राब्ता कर सकते हैं। राब्ते के लिए हमारा नंबर 9056257786।
ज़ौक़ रेस्टोरेंट, ज़ौक़ वालों के लिए।
Love that chicken from Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Welcome to City Pro Realty. We are 100% Canadian family-owned real estate brokerage. If you are thinking of buying or selling residential or commercial real estate, think of us. Call us. We are one-stop solution provider for your real estate needs. Our passion is real estate. Your success is our priority. Our commission plans to meet your budget. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. A family serving family. To search for sale properties and free reports, visit www.citypro.net.
Fine Foods, now open in Barhaven area, Ottawa. Pick up or dine in. Also available on Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and DoorDash.
Welcome to City Pro Realty. We are 100% Canadian family-owned real estate brokerage. If you are thinking of buying or selling residential or commercial real estate, think of us. Call us. We are one-stop solution provider for your real estate needs. Our passion is real estate. Your success is our priority. Our commission plans to meet your budget. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. A family serving family. To search for sale properties and free reports, visit www.citypro.net.
Welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the globe. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host. And with me is Barry Lebow, our legendary professional in real estate industry. He's been in real estate industry for the last 53 years. Can you believe it? You are getting a free advice from my legend. So pay attention to our program. You're going to like it because everybody's talking about they want to learn how to win a bidding war in real estate. So we're talking that we're going to continue our conversation. We were talking about past information, basically what the process is, why the seller or the realtor choose to a method of creating a multiple offer or multiple representation, and process, legality, ethics, professionalism, regulations. We talk about the subject, so you can watch this program. So we're going to talk about, Barry, is what are the mandatory requirements dealing with multiple offers? Mandatory requirement, so our viewer and realtor can also pay attention.
Well, this is Ontario speaking, of course.
Yes,
we have
of course.
specific forms that have to be used when there's more than a single offer. When there are two or more offers, you have to have what we call, and it's a very common term, Form 801.
Correct.
Which sets out when the offer is presented, who's the agent, and all the details. Then if I'm listing agent, it's coming to me, I put down what I did. I emailed it to the seller. I presented personally to the seller, however method I conveyed to the seller, and the time and everything. Everything is there. And therefore, it was done because in the past, there was something called phantom offers. there were some agents that said to people, there's an offer. And sometimes they'd write their own offers that weren't real. And these were called phantom offers because they didn't really exist. And why should a buyer, and they would get right away, oh, there's an offer, I got to put in an offer. The offers didn't exist. By bringing out this form, then you articulate the fact that it's a date stamp, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And like anything, it could be cheated on, but it's rare. It's done right, and it's something I wish I would have seen years ago.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. First of all, I think our viewers, you have to watch that. You have to know this. This is very important. There is a regulator that regulates the real estate industry in Ontario. We call the Real Estate Council of Ontario on behalf of Ministry of Government and Consumer Affairs. So they have a mandate for education, registration, compliance, and consumer protection program.
Discipline.
Compliance, that's a part of the discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
So there are 4 mandates. Again, repeat, registration. So that means you have a qualified people are being educated, following the guidelines, education requirement established by Real Council. Then once they finish the education, they go to registration. They join a brokerage who will submit application to verify, including the police criminal record check. Then once they approve, they will also comply. That means if they want to make sure that everybody is following Real Estate Business Broker Act and CRES as amended. So that means there's a complying procedure which includes the complaint program. And if you go to reco.on.ca, there is a complaint program, and you can see how many people have been, or the broker has been reprimanded, revoked, or disciplined. So you can go, there's a wealth of information there. And then you also have a consumer protection program, which is very specific to deposit that you give to the brokerage when you're buying and selling. So there is lots of seminars that we have done on Realty Coffee Talk. You can watch them, and they're available. And if you have any question, you can call me directly, 416-451-3489. And Barry is also instructor, and he's legend, mentor for everybody. So you can talk to him. We're going to ask him to give your name toward end of the program. So this is why it's very important. Again, the goal is to be fair, honest, transparent, have integrity, professionalism, ethics, and competent when dealing with the consumer and dealing also with fellow realtors. So
can I stop you right there, Tahir, if you don't mind?
Sure, please.
What people don't understand too is you cannot believe, as a listing agent, I just went through 12 offers the other day, the tension that happens that day. The phone's ringing like crazy. Everybody's asking questions from other agents. Should we submit? They try to get information out of you. What do you think we should pay? The phone's ringing, the pressure, and you're being pressured all the way, and you're sitting there and you're trying to be fair. And the agents that have presented offers are almost phoning you while you're in the presentation, because you may have a seller who you have to go very slow with. They're not going to make a move very quickly. They have to read everything. And in the meantime, it's getting up to 10, 11 o'clock at night. And it can be a lot of anxiety. It's not an easy process for the realtor themselves.
Yeah, no, they have to understand that we are not on the, it takes so long to process and reach this point. And as viewers, you know that the real estate people are the last one get paid, So, but we have to do the work from the day one. Sometimes it takes 60 days, 90 days, maybe some new construction, maybe over 1 year to get paid. So, but they have to function, they have to provide, they have to do everything to make sure that your needs are met, your target, your goals are met, and they're working very hard, and they do all the due diligence. Sometimes you tell us to do, don't tell anybody, but we have a regulatory requirement to disclose material facts about it. Section 21 of REBA Code of Conduct tell us that we have to find the facts. We cannot breach the law. If you're telling us something that is contrary to law, we cannot do that. We better
unlawful instructions we can't take.
We can't do that.
If your basement's we're digressing, but if your basement's leaking and you tell us don't disclose it,
Yeah.
That's not right. We can't do that. That's an unlawful instruction. Coming back to something, I'm not, even though I've been involved in multiple offers most of my career, I'm not crazy about them. Think about this. 12 offers the other day on a property. 12 people worked as hard as each of them worked hard to get those offers. 11 people worked as hard as the person that won it, except for price, and they went home with nothing.
I know.
It makes me feel terrible when I'm the agent, the listing agent. I hate to tell an agent, I'm sorry you didn't get it. Look, I lost a multiple about a year and a half ago for under $800 difference. $800.
Yeah, in a multiple offer situation, I have a client that me and my daughter was working together, and we took him from a different city actually in order to get the better deal. And he got the best property, and whatever he wanted it. Instead of buying a single detached home in Cambridge, we bought him something in Lincoln because his daughter was going close to the Brock University there. And they got double garage, double the size of the house, and only 1 year old compared to single garage, 30 years old house in Cambridge.
Yeah, what do you say? You drive until you can afford.
Yeah. So again, these are the circumstances that we go through to satisfy the needs, because there is a have and wants. What you qualify, what are your needs that needs to have, you have to have certain thing that is basic fundamental requirement of the family that must be met. Then you can have extra stuff that you want, okay? But it also has with your budget, your requirement. When you have needs are met, then you also have make sure they are financially capable of handling the mortgage payment to sustain a period of time that you're making commitment to buy a house for 5 years, whatever time you have. So there are lots of fundamentals that we have to watch as realtors, trying to help a client to satisfy.
Well, let's go the other way. Let me put on a different hat. I'm predominantly a listing agent, but when I'm a buyer's agent, one of the things that I would never advise a buyer to do is to waive a home inspection.
Yeah.
So we have an offer. You have what I do is I have a home inspector on standby. We're interested in a house. How busy are you? And if the offer is going to be presented at 7 o'clock at night, well, we've got all day that day before to get a home inspection. So I'll go in and get the home inspection prior to presenting the offer. Yes, we've just spent $500-600 of the client's money, or sometimes my money, but what happens is at least we go in with a presence. Now, if they tell us, no, we don't want a home inspection, then I tell my buyers, walk away. They're hiding something. Walk. Just walk. I would never buy a property, a house. Not a condo's a little different, but I've seen condos with problems too. I would never advise a buyer to buy a house with a home inspection. That's so mandatory to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go by list. Let's pinpoint things that how do you win a real estate bidding war? So let's give them a list of things that we have to say one by one, and that way they have an idea about it.
All right, I'm going to be really.
And then we close. We will have to keep 2 minutes. 1 minute for you at the end, and 1 minute for myself to say end the program.
I got a stopwatch. Hold on.
I will tell you. Okay.
Okay, I got a stopwatch. The one thing I learned maybe 40 years ago is called oddball pricing. So I put an offer in for a nephew of mine, and everybody comes in. People's tendency is to go round numbers. At the time, we were putting in $530,000. I said, no, we're 531. 111. 2 offers came in at 530. He won that unit by $1,111. In my career, I cannot tell you how many times we have won in multiples by that 111, 333, whatever. I use oddball numbers all the time. So if somebody says my limit is 875, I may turn around and go, no, we're 876, 6666. Now, some people don't like sixes. Depends on the culture.
Yeah.
But I look at that, and I look at the number, and I come in, and maybe 877, 777. And you can't believe how many times we win the offers by this oddball pricing.
Yeah, this is, I will point out that really is most important for any realtors who's dealing with a buyer. He or she should have a pre-qualified financials about the qualification, about it will set up a threshold. How far can you go? Sometime buyer, broker, or realtor will give a little bit contribution to help them on the cost of closing costs sometime, but it has to be in writing. Those situations can happen, but then you have to strategize to make sure you mentally prepare your buyer. If you cannot buy within your property, make sure you walk away instead of going into emotional and getting too upset about it.
Don't get emotions. You don't negotiate. Here's something else. It's like somebody said about a streetcar comes around every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you lose on a bidding war, there's always another house out there that probably ends up being better than the one you would have bought. And here's something else. Any realtor that goes out with a buyer that does not have their financing secure is a fool. They're doing a disservice to the buyer. They're not doing their job professionally. I wouldn't deal with a buyer that is not pre-approved. It's just not worth it. I refuse.
Yeah, especially in a corona environment, you don't want to put the risk for yourself and your client to go out and see a property you are not prepared to put an offer on it. So you have to be serious. You have to do due diligence, check up your square footage, lot, conservation, whatever the intentions are. You want to renovate, create a dwelling unit. As you know, in Peel region, we have a program where the government is giving you about $30,000 non-refundable deposit. You have a certain criteria. I think I did a show on this 3 weeks ago, and people can use that advantage for Peel region only for now. And you can do all those things provided that you are well prepared, you're educating your client, and you're not. And also, if you
great word. I love what you just said, my friend. Educate your client.
Yeah.
There was a very big clothing firm in the United States called Sims. And their slogan was, an educated consumer is our best customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that saying. You have to, a good realtor counsels, educates, and works with. And that's how it's supposed to be.
See, what happens is when people get excited, they like the location and they go overboard, and two things will happen. Because you have a closing cost, which is approximately 2% of the purchase price, because seller pays commission, the buyer pays closing cost.
Yeah, and how about
Toronto is double with the land transfer tax, right?
Land transfer tax.
Yeah. So this is why it's very important, not only that you are deprived. For example, you go for the offer and you won it, now you're dealing with it. The bank is not giving you the offer. They send you mostly conventional mortgage over, 20/80, which is 20%. Bank has to go and send an appraisal. They come back with a $50,000 variation in what they're willing to approve. Who's going to pay that? And then there will be a disappointment for a realtor as far as for the consumer, but they lost the house. But if they're not properly educated, you have a bad client, bad situation where it's not going to be beneficial for you to have a good faith with this client that you're dealing with. So education.
I know a fair amount of realtors, successful realtors, that have lent the people the money as a second mortgage at very reasonable rates for everybody, and to close deals if there's no family and everything that come up. But I've seen people go, this can't close.
Oh, there are alternative funding, but that sometime, because I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage, and when bank will give you the mortgage, they will take the full amount of the appraisal. So unless you're doing a private lending, someone to
or a B or C lender. But you know what we forgot to discuss? We forgot this, both of us, two professionals. When you're going into a bidding war, one of the things, the strengths too, is when you see a strong deposit.
Yeah, of course.
A strong deposit. I mean, you can be a little overboard. I had somebody the other day for a very basic house was going to give $200,000. I said, no, you're not. It's not necessary. It's overkill to tie up that kind of money. But you know, anything, you start at $50,000 and up to buy. Now, that's funny. That's only in the GTA. You get outside the GTA, people are buying houses in other communities for $5,000 deposits.
So we're going to have a very short time now. So I'm going to just revamp this. Is that the less condition you have to
No
make the no condition or less condition. So seller. We don't know the condition of the seller, so the more you talk to the listing agent to find out that under which, if somebody is retiring, relocating, or whatever, something that can help you to accommodate and make it comfortable for the seller, and you also put less condition and put a good deposit, will make this thing happen, provided that you are you have done a good job, you have done your in-house to make sure you got a mortgage, you got an inspection. Instead of doing inspection as a condition, you can do it inspection during pre-inspection during the visit. You can arrange that because you want to put less condition. So we're going to be running out of our time show. So I'm going to ask Barry, any thought for our viewers? And you have 1 minute to introduce yourself, leave your name and number, so people can contact you if they want to use.
I should have had a little thing up here with it. I'm in Toronto. I'm a RE/MAX agent. I'm what they call a Hall of Fame. 53 years in real estate. I'm still one of the top 4 or 5% of all realtors in Canada. I'm mostly a listing agent. I work with very few people at one time. I'm full service. I don't deal with a team. I'm RE/MAX Ultimate in Toronto. My number is 416-399-2852, but it's easy. See my name down here, Barry Lebow? Just go on Google. I'm all over the place.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, viewer. We are very delighted that Barry Lebow was able to join today. He won his 45 years certification award. Today he was a member of Real Estate Institute of Canada, as a fellow of Real Estate Institute of Canada. As you know, I'm also fellow Real Estate Institute of Canada, and working on his.
That's how we met.
And I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. Brokerage, and I'm learning a lot from Barry. He's a legendary personality in our real estate industry. A lot of, we congratulate you for again today. And viewers, if you have any questions regarding real estate or this about our Realty Coffee Talk, please contact me directly, 416-451-3489. And again, if you want to advertise for your business, we have a great advertising and also special rate for whoever wants to advertise during Realty Coffee Talk program or on Awaz Entertainment. We have a 3.9 million viewers of the monthly viewers for our Awaz Entertainment around the world. So thank you very much for watching. And we will be, by the way, we have 85,000 people watching our show and 1.5 million on a monthly basis in Canada, around the world. So we thank you for your support. Please, if you want to advertise your business, calls 647-484-0018 and ask for me so they can give you a special discount. Thank you very much for watching. And we take this opportunity to thank our guests for attending. Also, our health professional, doctors, engineers, nurses, our medical staff, and also police officers that jeopardizing their life to safeguard and provide service to fellow citizens. May God bless them. May God bless all of you. May God bless Canada. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.